Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be giving you guys the best build for all 105 brawlers in the game right now. So I tend to do this every update because new buffies come out and there's a bunch of different balance changes. So I'm going to be doing it in alphabetical order this time to see if you guys enjoy this one. But you can look in the description, timestamp for all of them. Let's fly through them. So the first one is 8-Bit. Funny enough, he's one of the best brawlers inside of the game right now thanks to his new buffies. So with his gadgets, I think extra credits is by far the better gadget right now. This gadget is very strong as well, but the fact with extra credits, you can shoot 2 pieces of ammo at the same time, makes it an insanely broken gadget. So until they probably fix that or nerf it in some way, this gadget will always be better. But against tougher matchups, cheat cartridge is also pretty good. Extra credits is definitely the better one. And then again, the good thing about 8-Bit, both star powers are good. The better one is boosted booster though. Plugged in is definitely good against, again, those tougher matchups. If you're facing off against a Brock, a Penny, something like that, which you're going to struggle against. The same old with 8-Bit. So this is the best build. And then you want to go health gear all of the time. And then just depending on the map, you know, if it's a bushy map, you might want to swap to the speed gear, vision gear, etc., damage gear. I mean, I just go with health gear and then one of the other gears. Next up, we've got Alli. So Alli is a pretty simple one. You want cold-blooded and you better run every single time. No debates here. And then it depends on, actually it doesn't really depend on the map really, because now that speeds don't really stack, just the fastest speed is applied to your brawler. That's why damage and shield gear is fine, because you get the extra speed when you're enraged with that gadget. So yeah, you don't really need the speed gear that much on Alli anymore. Next up, we've got Amber. So Amber is pretty self-explanatory as well. When most matchups, if it's a map with a lot of walls or facing off against aggro, Dancing Flames is the better gadget overall. So if it's to pick one or two, it would be Dancing Flames. But 5-star is going to be better against those longer range brawlers, and it pairs really well with his star power. I see people switch between both star powers. Most people use Wild Flames, but to be honest, I don't actually like either of Amber's star powers. And probably both of them are going to get reworked, I imagine, when she gets buffies, but Wild Flames is the better one. And then with Amber again, you absolutely want the reload speed gear, and then it's either like the vision or damage or shield gear for me. Mythic gear is absolutely pointless, so go either one of these two in my opinion. Angelo is next. So Angelo again is all dependent on the map and the matchup. If you're just playing like ladder all the time, most of the time Stinging Flight is just your safer option. But if you're playing like Knockout or Bounty, especially on a map like Belle's Rock, Master Fletcher is still a very strong gadget. Empower is better even on those water-based maps. The star power doesn't make sense because with Angelo, you need all the healing you can get, because obviously with Angelo, he doesn't get any healing until you stop charging up your shot. You never want to stop charging up your shot. Damage gear and the shield gear are going to be better. I mean, I used to use health gear on Angelo, but I just thought you may as well just keep trying to cycle to your super and just keep the damage gear onto him. Why not? Next up, we have Ash. So I know a few people were saying when Ash was pretty bad, but the other build was somewhat okay. And I tried it a few times and it was decent, but now that Ash is actually pretty decent again, thanks to his tank trait, Chill Pill and First Bash are going to be your better choices. And then with your gears, I think speed and damage is still better. I mean, I wouldn't put you away, especially with the recent changes to how speed works in the game. I think that health and damage could be pretty good, but I think most Ash players will still go with speed and damage. Next up, we've got Barley then. So Barley, again, pretty self-explanatory. It's all about the matchup with Barley. Most of the time, just because Barley gets screwed over by assassins, especially if you're going in blind, it is always sticky syrup. But when you play Barley into other throwers or on hot zone, like I say, I always recommend Herbal Tonic. And again, it depends on the matchup for me. I mean, if you're just blindly going in, this is a better build for Barley. If you're picking Barley to counter an enemy thrower like a Sirius or maybe like a Juju or something like that, Berry, then you probably want to go with this setup right here. I mean, damage and shield is probably your best matchup. It's either damage or gadget cooldown because the rest isn't that strong with Barley. Next up, we've got B. So B, again, it's pretty easy with her. You go rattle type all of the time, unless you're specifically, for whatever reason, playing up against, I don't know, maybe some sharpshooters, especially Jean. You want to be going this one to tank a Jean pool. And then with B, it's pretty much honeycomb all of the time, and then damage gear and the shield gear. Next up, we've got Belle. So Belle is pretty easy as well. I think Nest Egg is just better all of the time. I go reverse polarity on, I think it's Out in the Open, that one knockout map, and that's probably the only one where it's good on. Maybe a few more, but Nest Egg is better. And then you always want to go reload and shield. You want to go positive feedback all of the time, unless you're facing off against some assassins. And then you can switch like a Mortis. Then you can switch over to the other star power. Pretty underrated. Next up, we've got Berry. So Berry, again, pretty simple. You only want to go this second gadget in Heist. Everywhere else you go, friendship is great. Even if you don't need the knockback, it's just good for the healing. If you heal you and your teammates, you're getting some supercharge. So it's good for that reason as well. Floor is fine as well every single time. The other one just doesn't really make any sense. And then damage gear and I mean, sometimes I go actually gadget cooldown because I mean, damage gear does give you extra. It just depends with Barry because it's hard to actually get that damage gear threshold. So switch between one of these two and it's pretty fine. Next up, we've got Bibi. So again, Bibi is pretty self-explanatory. You want to go vitamin booster every single time, mainly because it instantly charges your knockback. I think the gadget rework with this would have been pretty interesting if they didn't just add another knockback with this gadget for whatever reason, and then home run all of the time. Again, this one seemed interesting upon release, but not actually that good. And again, you may as well go damage again shield gear since the rework to how speed works. And then next up, we've got Bo. So Bo, again, pretty easy. Tripwire, I thought had some use cases, especially if you're playing like Brawl Ball, a really aggressive game mode. Tripwire does work, but Super Totem is by far the better gadget. And then Star Powers again. I mean, this can work on some showdown maps and maybe double swoosh. I can't think of any other examples where it is good. And then since the removal of the reload gear, probably health gear or damage gear is best on Bo. Next up, we've got Bolt. So Bolt, pretty easy one. Oil change is going to be by far your better gadget. I have seen a lot of people, you know, vouch for bouncy ball, and it does have its uses. But in pro play, most people use oil change. And again, it's actually it literally is a toss up, like the Star Power says, between what Star Power to use. Unstoppable, probably better in a competitive setting, mainly because if you time it correctly, there's nothing that's going to be stopping you. But toss up is probably better, I would say, in casual gameplay. I don't entirely know with Bolt because both of them are good, but this one's more reactionary with your timing, and you don't actually cycle through your supers that fast. I just wouldn't put you off from going to first Star Power as well. I think it's very underrated. So good thing about Bolt, you can play both gadgets, both Star Powers. I think it really is down to personal preference, but if we're going competitively speaking, I think this build just about narrowly edges it. And yeah, again, I've seen people going like the health gear with Bolt, which can be pretty good as well. I just go damage gear with him because you shouldn't really be afraid of dying with Bolt too much because you're just going to be up the map really fast anyway. So yeah, next up we have Bonnie. So Bonnie, again, easy. This gadget, this Star Power, don't need to explain. And then this gear and the damage gear or the health gear, depending on the matchup. I mean, yeah, I normally just go damage gear with Bonnie because you can get a lot of value because you have a lot of health with Bonnie. So damage gear is always good on high health brawlers. Next up, we've got Brock. So Brock, again, the good thing about Brock, you can actually switch between both gadgets. Pros use both gadgets really effectively. Rocket Fuel is the better one, but I've been seeing way more Rocket Laces than I ever used to because with Rocket Laces now you get 2 knockbacks. So any single aggressive brawler, you can really counter them now. And I faced off against it firsthand. I think I was literally surged into Brock, and Brock was winning the matchup quite often sometimes. Maybe that's a skill issue, but because he kept double knockbacking me, it was just crazy. So yeah, I mean, Rocket number 4 is your better Star Power as well, absolutely. I'm a bit disappointed with Star Power. I thought it would be a better one, but maybe his super isn't as strong as I thought. I don't know, I tested it out and I was just melting everyone. Maybe they nerfed it before it came into the game. I can't remember what it was like, but I swear I was melting everyone with it. And then either damage gear or gadget cooldown. Honestly, because of how strong his gadget is, I kind of like gadget cooldown gear on Brock. Next up, we've got Bull. So Bull, again, it's pretty easy. T-Bone Missile is your better option, but I won't put you away from going Stomper as well. Both of them are pretty solid. But I like T-Bone for the most time, especially if you're playing Heist, because you can heal off the Heist safe, I believe, still, which hasn't been fixed. Even though Bull's pretty terrible, probably doesn't need that fix right now. Tough Guy is still your better option. I'm a little bit sad that they nerfed their fundamental Star Power instead of the buffies around it, because Bull isn't in a good spot whatsoever right now. So, yeah, this is the best build, and then damage gear and the shield gear for Bull. Next up, we've got Buster. So Buster is pretty easy. You want to go slow-mo, replay, Kevlar vest, and then speed or damage, or, I mean, I probably should buy the shield gear with Buster as well, or if it's on a more longer range map like, I don't know, New Horizons, where you want a bit of cheese, then this is probably your go-to build. Next up with Buzz. So Buzz, again, pretty easy. Bushy map, you go this gadget, but I would say 99 times out of 100 in competitive play, people are using this gadget, so go with this. And then it's, again, very matchup dependent. If you're a very good Buzz player, you can really make some good plays with Tougher Torpedo, but for the most part, you want to go with this build. This is just the safest option. And then with Byron, so Byron, again, booster shots is going to be the the choice that pros use 99% of the time because it adds additional damage. It allows you just to cycle through to your super way quicker, and this gadget uses the ammo. If it didn't use an ammo, I think it would be a pretty strong gadget. And then with Byron, again, you can use both. I like gadget cooldown because I like spamming shots as much as possible, but you get a lot of value out of the damage gear with Byron because you just get more healing. And then star powers, melees is definitely the one you want to use unless you're facing off against pet brawlers, so like Charlie, Tara. That's the only time you switch to injection. Now moving on to card, again, a pretty easy option for the most part. Probably bounty, knockout, and maybe some heist maps as well. You want to be using flying hook because it's going to allow you to get a lot of pressure, and in game modes like away from that, like Brubble, etc., heat ejector is going to be better. Protective pirouette, I don't know whether to fix power throw yet. Someone let me know down in the comment section, but it's been booked for a long time. And yeah, damage gear and the shield gear is going to be your best choice with Carl. Charlie's next, and Charlie pretty much spiders unless you're playing ranked and the enemy goes like Penny, Sandy, brawlers that can pierce through your pets. Personal space will be just better, and it can be better if you're a gem carrier as well. And then Slimy is going to be by far your better option because you can just fire out your super, and if you land it onto someone, they're going to be slowed when they get out of the cocoon. And then with Charlie, again, it depends on the matchup, so you could go damage gear, you could go with a gadget cooldown. If I recommend gadget cooldown, especially if you're facing off against single shot brawlers. Candy beans is going to be your better option still with Chester, single Bella Mania, and vision gear. And well, actually not the vision gear, it depends on the map though, because you can go like speed with Chester, you can go damage, you can go vision gear. Most people just go damage though, because that's why I use Chester right as a damage dealer. Chuck is next, and Chuck is pretty easy. It does depend on the matchup though. Most Chuck players will use rerouting, because with this one, I mean, if the map requires you to go for walls, of course, you want to go to Ghost Train, but rerouting, you can put two posts in the same position, and then you can super up, click gadget, and then throw your next post even further onto the high safe. So that's how pros get onto the high safe a lot better and a lot more effectively. I think Tickets Please probably is your better one. I mean, I like Pit Stop a lot of the time, but Tickets Please is probably better because you don't really need 4 posts for most setups, in Heist in particular. But again, you might want to go for it. It just takes longer to set up most of the time. And then again, depends on the situation. But I think damage gear is better for Chuck. Health gear can be good in some situations if you're playing Hot Zone for whatever reason, but damage gear is going to be better. Clancy is next. So Clancy is just completely fallen off in the meta. He's near enough back to the F tier because I just don't see him anymore. So with Clancy, tactical retreat and snappy shooting. So both of them are good. I think snappy shooting is still better, surely, because with Clancy, it's just all about getting to that last level. Even after some of the reworks, tactical retreat, I think most pros do actually use this though, especially in a tough matchup. It's a really tough matchup. Tactical retreat's better just because you get that dash, which allows you to close the gap, or else people can just keep their distance against Clancy. Recon is still the better one. Pumping up is just not good, guys. And then damage gear and shield gear. Colette is next. So even after the big nerf to this gadget, it's still the better one by far. Gotcha, I feel like it has potential, but yeah, Nah is your better choice. And then depending on the situation, I mean, Heist, you still want to go mass tax. Push It is still pretty good as well, but with Colette, it's a lot harder to cycle through to your supers now, so do bear that in mind. Both of them are good. I think Push It is the better competitive option, but I really just love mass tax. I don't know what it is about it. So yeah, with Colette, you probably want to go with the gadget cooldown because damage gear doesn't really work the way that it should with Colette, because of course her main attack is by percentages. It's really weird, right? So next up, we've got Colt. So speed loader absolutely all the time, unless you're literally using Colt to break open the map to help your teammates destroy the opponents. You know, for example, if you've got a Pierce in your team or a sniper, then you might want to swap. But speed loader is one of the best gadgets in the game still, in my opinion, because it slows enemies, it steals ammo, it's such a strong gadget. So that's why you'll often see me go gadget cooldown, just to spam as many gadgets as possible. Slick Boots is still your better star power. Magnum Special still has a nice place in my heart, but competitively speaking, the speed stop out is better. And then, like I said, you want to swap between these two. So Cordelius is next, and with Cordelius, replanting is going to be by far the most competitive option. But if you're really looking to stop against like a Chuck, or maybe like, I don't know, you're only trying to face off against a Damian maybe, or I don't know, something really up close, Edgar, Poison Mushroom probably better, but still I think pros even use replanting against it. So yeah, probably would go with that. Combo Shrooms is going to be your better option. Some people use Mushroom Kingdom, but I don't think there's really much point using that with Cordelius. You want to try and get that extra bit of damage every time. Damage and shield gear is going to be better for you. So next we have Crow. So the better competitive option right now is Slowing Toxin, just because with this gadget, already Crow has 1 second less of poison. So this one got indirectly nerfed because of that, but already Slowing Toxin was starting to become better before that nerf. So Slowing Toxin is very good. It just deals so much damage. You probably heard me complain about it on stream yesterday, because up close it feels like you just can't get to Crow because of how much damage he deals. So carrying Crow is still your better option in my opinion. And then with the damage gear or the cooldown gear, I mean, it depends on the situation. I think most people just go damage, but I actually like gadget cooldown because he always has strong gadgets. Our Crow does. Next up we have Damian. So Damian, I think most pro players do go Wall of Sound. It's a lot of maps and matchups where this is the better gadget. So think of Knockout. I don't know whether it's Gold Arm, Gulch, or Flare Infinity. I can't remember which one it is, but you would have seen it in competitive play if you watched BSC this weekend. That's better because once the gas closes in, you can stop the opponents, or you can just literally make the gas close in on them because of this wall. It lasts a very long time. But most matchups, I recommend going the heal one, just because with Damian, the problem is with Damian, the only thing that's stopping him from destroying everyone is getting his first super. So getting his first super can take a long time because you're just literally getting that super through taking damage. So this helps you get that super that bit quicker. And then damage and shield gear and the star power. Nearly forgot to say that. Absolutely, the star power. That's going to be by far your better choice. So Darryl is next. So Darryl, I mean, both Darryl is pretty boring. This is the best setup for him. But if you're playing heist, you swap over to this gadget. Damage and shield gear. Don't even need to talk about Darryl too much. Doug is next, so again, pretty easy. Extra mustard, unless you're literally playing Doug to heal to your teammates, then you want to go double sausage. But I think the extra mustard is still better because even if knockout, if the gas closes in, you need that extra damage with Doug because he deals like no damage really. And then in terms of his gears, again, just depending on the map that you play on, switch between damage gear and speed gear with Doug. Self-service is going to be better because the healing of yourself allows you just to charge up your supers much faster. Next up, we've got Draco. So Draco, easy. Last stand, one of the most broken gadgets in the game. Shredding as well, one of the best star powers in terms of like how effectively Draco can be. You can heal up from 1 health, which is great. And then Draco, again, just depends on the situation. You either want to go... I mean, I like gadget cooldown with him. Damage gear is very good with him as well. So you want to swap between either damage gear, shield gear, or gadget cooldown, in my opinion. I think that setup's just the most optimal. Next up, we've got Dynamike. So funny enough, this gadget was actually going to receive a cooldown nerf. Thankfully, it actually didn't because it's such a broken gadget. Probably not even that broken anymore, but still. So most pros actually, funny enough, go fidget spinner. I mean, it wouldn't put you away from going satchel charge. It's still a strong gadget, but 23 seconds for a gadget when you can just spam fidget spinner, get some extra speed. I probably just actually would like fidget spinner this time. Demolition is the best, and damage and shield gear. So yeah, Dynamike's not in the best of spots right now. But now moving on to Brawler that is in the best of spots, and that is Edgar. So Let's Fly is going to be by far your better option still, even after the cooldown nerf. Hardcore does have its use cases. So for example, against a kit or against some other form of CC, this can be good if timed correctly. So yeah, this is really good at countering kit. But Let's Fly is your better option. Fisticuffs is still your better star power as well. I feel like hard landing is a little bit underrated. I've really enjoyed using hard landing when the buffies first came out, but you got to appreciate with Edgar, the reason why you play him is to chain onto people, and if you get 1 kill, it allows you to then jump onto another player straight away rather than having to wait to heal up. Damage and shield gear every single time with Edgar. Next up, we've got Primo. So Primo, easy suplex supplement, and El Fuego are going to be best choices. Brawl Ball, this star power can be used, but yeah, El Fuego. And then in terms of your gears, honestly, what do you even go with Primo? Probably like damage and like this just terrible build right here. I mean, you probably need the damage in 1 versus 1, and then either the supercharge or the health gear is going to be best for him. Ems is next. So Ems, again, very matchup dependent. Acid Spray is such a strong gadget, and that's what most people use because it has a slow built in. It can shoot through a wall. It's very effective a lot of the time, but if you're facing, of course, some form of aggression, friend zone, it's very strong. Hype is going to be by far your better star power. And then with gears, again, that just depends on the map. So if you're playing a bushy map, most time you do with M's speed gear. But if you're playing M's with like a grey and a hot zone, then just go damage and shield gear. You can't go wrong with that. Next up, we have Eve. Eve, gotta go 100% of the time. And then Unnatural Order, 100% of the time as well. Sometimes I just like to have fun and go with star power, but it's not actually that good. I mean, maybe against single shot brawlers, but it's still not really that good. And then reload gear and the shield gear every single time. I mean, I used to use this like 2 years ago, but Eve's hatchlings just get destroyed so easily. There's no point running it, and especially with the hypercharge, that's when Eve's hatchlings become annoying, not because of the mythic gear. Next we've got Fang. So Fang, Corn Fu is actually a good competitive option right now, especially if you're using Fang on knockout, but the better option most of the time is roundhouse kick, because you can confirm kills so easily. Also allows him to counter some good brawlers, so for example Mortis or a few other like assassins. Fang can actually be a good counter to them because of his stun. Then Divine Souls is the best competitive option, guys, trust me. It's a lot harder nowadays to get a kill with Fang's super. That threshold is just too hard right now, because especially since the universal health buff, it's hurt Fang even more. And then damage gear and shield gear is great with Fang. Finx is next. So Finx, this gadget is always going to be the better one. But No Escape has actually had some use cases. It got slightly reworked not too long ago, but it's mainly to stop like Kit cheese composition. So Kit with a Darryl, Kit with any other brawler, you can click this gadget and then Kit just detaches from them. So since then, you've been seeing a lot less Kit and knockout and bounty thanks to this gadget. And then health and shield gear most time. I mean, people run damage, but I really like health gear with Finx. And the star power is by far your better choice with Finx. It allows you to counter Kaze's, Mortis's, other aggressive brawlers, so just any brawler. The 25% is quite big. Next we've got Frank. So Irresistible Attraction is still your better choice, and with your star power, Sponge is still your better choice as well. You want as much health as possible, and damage and shield gear, you can't go wrong with that with Frank. So now moving on to Gale. So Gale, everybody loves, well, Twist is going to be a better one, but in terms of star power, everyone loves Blustery, Freeze and Snow, but I think Blustery Blow is the reason why you'd pick Gale, especially because you're guaranteed to get a kill with you and your teammates. So as long as you're using your supporter, your super in support of with your teammates, you're going to guarantee a kill. So Blustery Blow probably is the reason why you use Gale right now. And then most time with Gale, I mean, yeah, it's dependent on the map, what I say a lot of the times, but most of the time you want to play Gale on a bushy map because he's so strong with the vision gear. Next up we've got Jean. So Jean, talked about vision gear, he is one of the best brawlers with the vision gear selected. Vengeful Spirit's going to be better most of the time, unless you're playing, I don't know, against assassins, or you're playing Jean in Gem Grab, for example. But Vengeful Spirits is better. I've been actually using a bit more Spirit Slap now, especially after watching some Guesty games. You run Spirit Slap quite often in ranked, just because you don't want to be grouping up a lot of the time with your teammates because they're just ass. So you need Spirit Slap, and especially if you can hit a lot of Gene Pools like myself. But Magic Puffs is the better option by far. And then, yeah, you pretty much don't want to ever swap away from this build unless you are playing like Shooting Star, and then you go with the shield gear instead. So probably buy 3 gears with Gene. Gigi is next. And, oh, sorry, just threw up a bit there in my mouth. Ugh, horrible brawler. Longer strings and a helping hand are going to be by far your better options, just because you need that extra bit of healing with Gigi. I mean, yeah, wow, you can get your super a lot more effectively, but you need the healing with Gigi, damage gear and shield gear. I mean, she's just an awful brawler. So next up we have Glowy. So Glowbert is actually really underrated in this meta, and that's because of this gadget right here. So this gadget allows you to cycle through to your super so effectively. If you heal you and your 2 teammates, that's 75% supercharge. So it makes it very hard for the opponents to get close to you. And then this star power is going to be your better choice as well. Damage gear and the shield gear with Glowy. Absolute perfection. Next up we've got Grey. So Grey, Walking Cane 100%, and then Knockout Bounty. Go to this star power. And in terms of Gem Grab, Brawl Ball, Hot Zone, New Perspective is going to be better. And then with Grey, I always recommend going Gadget Cooldown. You want as many Walking Canes as possible. So next up we have Griff. So Griff is the new revelation in this meta and an S-tier brawler now, thanks to one big buff that you added in the last update. So Biggie Bank is going to be by far a better option. Coin Shower is used when you don't want to open up the map for the enemies in ranked. So again, I don't know, if the opponents, you pick Griff, the opponents pick, I don't know, like a Pierce or another brawler that's going to open up the map, you're just going to get dominated if you're going to open up the map for them. So Coin Shower's only used just so you don't open up the map. And then Keep the Change is by far your better option now, because now you can shoot 4 rows of coins for the same amount of time it takes to shoot free. So it was a nice buff, but definitely overkill, because now there's 0 point using business resilience. It's just like the Otis star power you want to be using. Keep the change. And then I go health gear and damage gear, because yeah, normally with Griff, you want this star power allows you to heal. Now you can't heal as much. So I don't know, either one of these two are fine with Griff. Next up, we've got Grom. So Grom, radio check, unless you're playing what is it, center stage or another map like that, you go with that gear. X factor all the time, damage and shield gear, never want to shy away from them. So same again with Gus, really easy. Cookie Papa, 100%. Spirit animal, it's 100%. Damage gear or the health gear. I like health gear with Gus, wouldn't put you away from damage gear as well, both pretty solid. Next up with Hank, again, pretty easy choice, unless you're facing off against a tank, I don't know, like a Draco or something like that. Water balloons is really good against tanks, guys. That's what all the pros use. But barricade is going to be a better choice most of the time, because who doesn't want an extra shield? It's really good. It's going to blow is going to be a better option as well. And then with your gears, you probably never want to swap away from the health gear and the damage gear. Jacky's next, so new broken brawler. Definitely broken right now. Yeah, play Jacky on the enemy team for win every game. Pneumatic booster and counter crusher are going to be your better options. Hardy Harder is good against longer range comps, but never really used all that much. And then speed gear and the damage gear is going to be better for Jacky. Next up, we've got myself. And myself, Weekend Warrior is by far a better option. This one is a fun option if you just want to spice things up, but it's not actually a good competitive option. It's the first time I've seen that skin, by the way. That does not look like Jae-Yong, bro. What is Unk doing? But in terms of star powers, again, easily the Crowd Go Miles is going to be better for you. I mean, yeah, this just takes too long to it's just way too niche to get value out of it. And then health gear and the shield gear with Jae-Yong. Next up, we've got Janet. So Janet, you would think this is better on bushy maps, and maybe it is, but you only really play Janet right now to gem carry. That's probably about it. So backstage pass is going to be better. Vocal warm-up is going to be better, absolutely. And then, yeah, depending on the map situation, you want to swap between those two right there. Next up, we've got Jessie. So Jessie, recently feels pretty nice with a buff, but she's still not actually that great. I mean, Recall Spring's probably going to be better in Heist, but still, even in Heist, I'd probably go Spark Plug just to confirm kills with your turret. Energize is going to be better, but still not actually that powerful of a star power. I've realized both our star powers and gadgets used to feel really good like 2-3 years ago. They just all feel terrible right now. Damage gear and shield gear is going to be best for Jessie. Juju is next. So Juju, Elementalist is going to be a better option. Sometimes this gadget can actually be pretty underrated, but Elementalist is a better competitive option. And then in terms of your best competitive option as well, I think most people do go Guarded Garigari, but Numbing Needles is good against those assassins. But yeah, both are pretty good. If you're facing off against a lot of damage dealers, then Guarded Garigari is probably more effective. And then something like this, can't really go wrong with that with Juju. Kaze is next, and Kaze, definitely this is going to be your better choice. But if you're, I don't know, no disrespect to you guys, but if you're below Masters, you can probably get away with going the invisibility and getting a super for free. So yeah, this gadget is good up until you face people that were like, okay, Kaze can go invisible. Let's not give her value in the first 10 seconds. So yeah, Grace, I mean, again, these star powers are both aren't really that great. So yeah, just go with whatever you want there. But yeah, second star power is better. And then yeah, damage and shield gear with an assassin. Of course, you're going to go with that. Kenji is next, so this is going to be your better option. I have seen in Shooting Star or a few of the bounty maps, Dashi can actually be the better option, but bro, this healing gadget is just so strong. When you pair it with this star power as well, super good. Damage gear and the shield gear with Kenji. Kit is next, so again, Kit, you want to go cardboard box pretty much all of the time, unless you only, I don't know, if you're playing with a bolt, then maybe you want to go with this, but cardboard box is just so good. You're invisible, you can get so many kills with it. Overly attached, and you want to go gadget cooldown, especially with the cardboard box gadget. It just works so well with Kit. Next up, we have Larry. So Larry and Lawrie, second gadget, second star power every single time, and then damage and the shield gear. Can't go wrong with that at all. Leon is next, absolutely lollipop drop every single time. Smoke Trails is still by far your better competitive option because it just gives you a really good damage boost to confirm those kills. I mean, Invisiheal does have its use cases, especially in Knockout. And maybe in Hot Zone in a few situations as well. Allows you to sustain your life a lot more, but a good Leon player will know. If you know Ball, Smoke Trails is definitely a better option. And then it's out of damage gear or the gadget cooldown. For Leon's next up, we've got Lily. Vanish is going to be your better gadget. Vigilance is going to be your better star power. There's no debate in these things. And then damage gear and shield gear can never go wrong with it. Unless you really want to spam vanishes. I think damage gear is still better. And then Lola. Again, both of these gadgets are a bit meh. I've been using stun double a little bit more, but it's really not that good either. Both are just, I probably would go freeze frame actually right now. I don't like stun double, even after trying it a lot. Sealed with a Kiss is going to be your better star power though. And then with Lola, it is just, I mean, I probably need to buy the shield gear with her actually. Probably this is going to be your best build. But a lot of the time I do end up playing Lola on a map with a lot of grass. So yeah, depending on the situation, you want to go something like that. Now moving on to Lu. In terms of the gadget, I think most pros do use Ice Block because with Lu, it's actually pretty hard to connect this super onto your opponents because they're just more wise. But I think for 99% of people watching, you just go this second gadget because you can just throw it onto people and freeze them, and people are probably just idiots and can just walk onto the super. So yeah, second gadget is better. Pro plays Ice Block is better. Hypothermia, by far your better choice as well. Like I was saying, good players will just not walk onto the super, so they won't be frozen as quicker. And then you want to always go with this setup with Lu. Lumi is next. And of course, second gadget is going to be your better option. Second star power is going to be better as well. Damage gear and shield gear every single time with Lumi. I did like to use health gear or gadget cooldown, but I think damage gear is very strong on Lumi. Disengage and tremor is going to be better. Damage gear and shield are going to be better. It's Maisie, who even cares at this point. Next up, we got Mandy. So Cookie Grom is going to be better because it allows you to cycle through to super quicker. In my sights is by far better star power. And then it's either health gear or damage gear with Mandy. Wouldn't put you off either. I mean, health gear probably is your better competitive option if you're playing bounty into other snipers. Max is next, and Max, both gadgets are really good. If you watch Joker in monthly finals, Sneaky Sneakers can be very effective on Hot Zone, especially if you just time it correctly. The better option by far is Phase Shifter, like 95% of the time, but this is actually competitively viable again, maybe for a short period until people realize how to counter it again. But yeah, competitively speaking as well, Supercharged is finally your better choice because of the shield it gives you and your teammates for 4 seconds. It's insane. Runner Gun used to be very good. I feel like once this gets eventually nerfed, the other star power will be better. Health gear and shield gear should be better, or damage gear on Max, up to you. I like the health gear with Max though. Next we've got Meeple. So again, the good thing about Meeple is that you can use both gadgets. Both are competitively great. Mansions and Meeple when you're facing control, when you're facing off against aggression. Rage Quit, both are very good. Do Not Pass Go is going to be by far your better star power because it allows you to cycle through your super with one less shot. And the gadget cooldown is going to be by far your better option with Meeple because you want that, you want your gadget up as quickly as possible. I mean, if you're not, I suppose, too worried about other brawlers in terms of like trying to counter them with your gadgets, then you can go damage gear as well. Next we've got Meg. So both of these gadgets are very, very strong, and again, it can really be up to you how you choose to play them. But I think competitively speaking, Toolbox is the one being used a bit more now because you can pair it really well. I saw again, like Jessie interestingly using Force Field in combination with this. I know it's been nerfed a little bit, but it's still very, very strong. Because you can just, especially if someone's weak, you can finish off a kill. When you're weak, you can throw out your super. If there's an Edgar or Mortis, you can just fly them. If you see my stream, I literally, when the gas closed in, I got sent into the gas. It was just insane. You can't counter it sometimes. And yeah, both of them are pretty effective. But I think Force Field is good paired with this. Both star powers are good. Both gadgets are good. But competitively speaking, I would probably still go heavy metal, but yeah, I'm gonna try out Force Field for sure. And then gadgets, gears, sorry, in damage, health, both are pretty essential. Probably just damage though, probably gonna be your better choice now that Mega's a bit more meta. Melody is next, and absolutely second gadget, absolutely first star power, and then absolutely damage and shield gear. Can't even debate that. Miko's next, so again, I've seen some people use Presto, can be effective in some situations, but Clip and Scream is going to be better for the most part because the slow is going to allow you and your teammates to get kills, especially if you pair Miko with a kit. Gives you that extra bit of damage onto the heist safe as well. And speaking of heist, if you're playing heist, play Record Smash. Everywhere else you play this star power, but you pretty much only play Miko and heist right now. So damage and shield gear is going to be most effective. Mina is next, and Mina's windmill gadget is still your better choice, but if you're facing off against her counters, like Kenji, like Mortis, like these aggressive brawlers, then power is going to be better. Then you want to go this star power. Damage and shield gear is probably going to be effective. In health gear is also pretty solid as well, but damage is better. Mo is next, so dodgy digging absolutely all the time. And then again, like I say to you guys for years now, this star power for most of the time. But if you pick Mo and the enemy goes some longer range brawlers, you could switch star power. You can effectively charge up your super way more because you have more range with the second star power. Damage gear and shield gear with Mo. Mortis is next, so combo spinner is still going to be your better gadget. There are some instances on Bounty where Creature Knight can be good, but combo spinner is better. Cord Snake is by far your better competitive option. And then damage gear and shield gear. I mean, a lot of people actually go like speed and health or speed and damage with Mortis. You can actually play around with a lot of these gears, but if you just want something pretty plain and simple, you can't go wrong with damage and the shield gear. Next up, we have Mr. P. So Mr. P, again, doesn't really matter what you use here because he's terrible. Port of Reinforcement is probably just to be annoying this star power because Ousted's porters are just really weak. And then, yeah, with Mr. P, what do you even go, bro? He just straight up ass. Who even cares? Damage and shield, just go with that. And next up, we got Niger. So Niger doesn't really feel that great right now. Not really seen her play too much in competitive, but she's still okay. So Poison Puddles most of the time. If you're facing off against aggro, you've got to go second gadget, but still not really that great. In terms of your star powers, I think Venomous is just a bit your better star power. But if you're facing off against maybe even one single shot brawler, then this one is going to be a good star power. And then in terms of gears, probably just damage gear and shield gear. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. Next up, we got Nanny. So Nanny, again, both gadgets can be pretty effective. It depends on the situation, though, to be fair. So warping time, heist, or if you're going in like a game mode like that, it can be pretty effective. If you're into other sharpshooters, though, you want to go return to sender. I used to always use autofocus, then I just realized over time, like, you just don't get kills with autofocus at all anymore, so you may as well use tempered steel, and that at least means you can use your super more aggressively. You can use a super to tank other big shots as well. So I go health gear and the shield gear with Nanny, but wouldn't shy you away from going the damage gear as well. Definitely go shield gear though. Next up, Nita. So Nita, again, pretty easy. You want to go faux four because it's just a better gadget. It allows you to time and get invulnerability with the Buffy. Very, very strong. Bear paws can be good into tanks, but I still like faux four. That invulnerability is so strong. Bear with me is going to be by far a better option. Of course, if you're playing heist, you want to go hyper bear, and then probably just speed and shield gear. I do actually recommend going shield gear a lot of the time with Nita because she lacks a lot of range, so she needs as much health as possible to get up close. Next up, we've got Nori. So the newest brawler in the game right now. In terms of the gadget, absolutely first gadget is going to be by far your better option. 12-second cooldown on a 3k heal is pretty effective. I've not tried Nori enough, especially, but he's not even out in ranked right now. So this could be effective in a team setting, but don't actually imagine it being all that strong. So first gadget, and then again, first star power is going to be better. Again, I'm not really a big fan of either star power. I've not played Nori enough, again, to really find the value out of either or. But I feel like this one's just probably better because it synergizes well with a gadget. Both star powers I actually really don't enjoy with Nori. Next up, we've got Alli. So Alli, again, All Eyes on Me is going to be by far your better gadget, but there are some settings where this gadget's really good as well. It's only because it's 10-second cooldown, and only because All Eyes on Me helps you counter Ollie's counters. So any aggros, All Eyes on Me is going to be very good there. Renegade is still going to be a better option. I see a lot of pros, though, go this star power on a few maps just to get some pressure going, like Belle's Rock, a few other instances, but I still like Renegade myself, and then damage and the shield gear. Next, we've got Otis. Really easy, really quick, fat splatter, ink refills, and then, you know, you go vision normally with Otis because you play him on a bushy map. But if you don't go with that, maybe just damage or the supercharged gear. Next up, we've got Pam. Super easy again. Scrap Sucker all of the time. Mama's Squeeze all of the time. Unless it's a super open map, then Mama's Hug. And then you want to go Mythic Gear and Health Gear pretty much all of the time. Unless it's like a bushy map, then you go Vision Gear. I mean, you definitely want Mythic Gear, then play around with the next gear. Pearl is next. She's making a resurgence in the meta, but her build stays the same. Overcooked is going to be a better option. Heat Shield is going to be a better option. And then again, depending on the situation, you either want to go Vision Gear or the Health Gear with Pearl. Definitely the Shield Gear, though, as well. Penny is next again. Pretty self-explanatory. Salty Barrel all the time. Heavy Coffers all the time, unless you're facing a Mortis. And even then, maybe in Brawl Ball, that's the only way you use that. Vision Gear or Health Gear or Damage Gear. I mean, I like normally Health or Vision Gear with Penny. Next up, we've got Pierce. So Pierce, bottomless mags, unless you're facing off against some aggressive options. It's really good against like an Edgar, Mortis, etc. But bottomless mags is still a better option, even at 22-second cooldown. Who would have thought? You just reload one ammo, and it's gone from like 12 seconds or whatever it is to 22 seconds. And Pierce is still very good. So Swim Possible is going to be your best option as well. And then damage gear and the shield gear, can't go wrong with that. Next, we've got Piper. So Piper, again, really good in the meta right now, thanks to her big damage buff. Homemade recipe is going to be your better option. Snappy sniping is going to be your better option as well. I've seen some nasty damage though with ambush, but snappy sniping is still going to be better. And then health, or I mean, it depends on the matchup, right? But most of the time you face off against other snipers or other long range brawlers, health gear is very underrated on a brawler like Piper. Next up, we've got Poco. So Poco, very matchup dependent as well. Tuning Fork is going to be better 90% of the time, but Poco, he's a very good rank brawler because you can use the second gadget to counter a lot of options. You can counter Crow, you can counter Niger, Lou, there's probably a few more that I'm missing, Byron, Willow. Those poison brawlers or brawlers with those types of effects, it just counters them for a long time. So yeah, Protective Tune's very good for that reason. And then again, very map dependent. Screeching solo, absolutely. And then with Poco, I normally go gadget cooldown because you literally use Poco. You want his utility, right, as much as possible. You're not there for his damage, so just spam gadgets galore. Next up, RT. RT easy, out of line, unless you are playing a super long range map, shooting star out in the open. Then you use hacks, and again, recording, unless, again, really long range maps, and you switch over to the star power, health gear, and the shield gear every time. Rico is next, so multiple launcher is still going to be your better gadget. Bouncy Castle, there is some use case to it. It definitely is a tad bit underrated. It's not useless because at least it gives you the slow, but it's not really that good. Multiple launch is just better because it can give you that extra bit of health, and I'm starting to like it a little bit more now. Super Bouncy is still going to be better star power, guys, mainly because it's very, very rare that you'll be 500 health as a Rico, so you can't really get the benefit out of this, but it has some potential. But Super Bouncy is better, and then probably like Vision and Shield Gear with the Rico. Next up, we've got Rosa. So Rosa, Unfriendly Bush is going to be your better one most of the time, unless you want to create the Amazon rainforest, and this one can be pretty effective. I mean, if you're competitively speaking, Grow Light is probably the reason why she's picked, because you want to use Rosa into a comp that has no wall breaks. It can be very, very annoying to face off against her. Thorny Gloves is going to be a better option, but I won't put you off going this one as well. It can give you some really good sustain. If you just want to be annoying and you know that it's going to be hard to get close to the opponents, and Plant Lives can be pretty good. And then you want to go with damage and shield all the time with Rosa. Ruffs is next. So Ruffs, you can use both star powers and both gadgets. Take cover is going to be good into those single shot brawlers. So your Surges, your Stews, your Meeples, Pierce as well. Ruffs is a great counter, literally, because this gadget got buffed some updates ago. It makes it very hard for brawlers to deal with him. Air support is great when you can't get any value out of your sandbags, so it's just good for a little bit of lane pressure. So air superiority, can't even get that right. It's just good to break open walls, because if you switch to star power, you can't break open the walls anymore. But this is good in knockout and bounty. I mean, with Ruffs, you either go damage gear or the vision gear with him. Next up, Sam. Sam, easy. First gadget, first star power. I don't even want to waste 5 seconds of my time. Sandy is next. Sandy, Sweet Dreams all of the time. Rude Sands all of the time to stop the enemies from healing up. Speed gear and damage gear, because you never want to use Sandy on an open map because he doesn't have the range. You won't be able to do anything. Next up, we've got Shade. Shade really easy as well. Long arms, 100%. Hardened hoodie, 100%. The other gadget and star power is completely useless. And then with Shade, you want to go damage gear and the shield gear. Shelly is next. So with the recent buff to fast forward, I think it is the better gadget right now. And then Band-Aid is definitely your better star power as well. And then again, literally depends on the map. You want to swap between either one of these gears and you're good to go. Next up, we've got Sirius. So Sirius has fallen off a lot right now, but this gadget is still your better one. Even with the healing, healing used to be good when Sirius was very, very strong, but Star Wars Born is definitely better. And then the Darkest Star is just better because you want to build up your clones as quickly as possible, so, or your shadows. So yeah, you want to make sure you're using that star power, then damage and shield gear with Sirius because he's a thrower. Next up, we've got Spike. So Spike life plant's gonna be better most of the time, but if you're facing off against an aggro brawler, I wouldn't put you away from popping Pincushion. It's nowhere near as good as it used to be though, because you used to be able to just shred through people with it, so you still can get taken down. Curveball is gonna be better. The recent buff to Fertilize, I haven't tried it out enough, but I've just not seen anyone use it really, so Curveball is still better. And then Vision Gear and the Shield Gear with Spike. Sprout is next, and with his recent buffs, a little bit better. Transplant is going to be better all of the time, and so is Overgrowth. And you want to use Supercharge Gear every time with Sprout because you want to cycle through to his walls as effectively as possible. So onto the last 9 brawlers here, and with Squeak, again, it literally depends on the situation. If you're using Squeak on Knockout or Bounty, then Wind Up is good. Everywhere else, Residue is still very, very powerful. If you're looking to just hard counter one specific brawler, Residue is probably the reason why. Super Sticky is going to be your better option as well. It allows you to follow up and confirm kills a lot easier, and then you use Squeak to spam as many gadgets as possible. So I mean, it's either health or the gadget cooldown for me. Next we've got Starr Nova. So Starr Nova, it's all about floaty time. This allows you to make aggressive plays. It allows you mainly to make good defensive plays, though, to dodge like an incoming Edgar or a Mortis. You can use this gadget just to escape them pretty easily. And then Star Powers is still first Star Power. The second one doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, I've not tried it out a bunch since the buff, but still think this one is going to be better. And then damage and shield gear with Starr Nova. Next up, we've got Stu. So also Starr Nova, you can use the speed gear as well because she lacks a range. But with Stu, both gadgets are really good. Again, it depends on the situation. If you're playing Hot Zone or if you're playing Gem Grab, probably Speed Zone's better. But if you want to be aggressive with Stu, Breakthrough is very good. It is pretty... Most of the time you want to use Breakthrough, though. That's the better competitive option. But then again, people use Speed Zone a lot. Gassy Heal all the time unless there's a specific matchup that you want to swap that to. But damage and shield gear with the Stu. Surge is next, and Power Shield is by far your better option right now. Yes, it is 22 seconds, but if you get hit by it, which 9 times out of 10, you should be able to time this correctly. It's going to be a... No, not 9-second cooldown. It used to be a 9. Now it has been nerfed to 11 seconds. Like 11 seconds after you get hit is still fine. And then Star Power, Serve Ice Cold all of the time. I was a bit scared of to the max, and I actually thought for 1 second that this could be a competitive option, but just because of how strong this Star Power is, you just can't not use it. A free jump is actually, I think it's better than the previous version of Serve Ice Cold, which is just crazy because it was supposed to reworked, so it was worse, but it's got better, so crazy. Damage gear and shield gear all of the time with Surge. Unless you're playing a bushy map, you may as well go with a speed to help you level up. Tara is next, and Tara, you want to use support from beyond unless everybody is using Pierce abilities, and then just use that gadget. Heal, Star Power is going to be better. Then speed and damage, speed and shield gear with Tara should be the way that you use her. Next up, we have Tick. Tick, pretty terrible right now, but you want to be using this build right here. Last hurrah and well oiled, and then mythic gear and the shield gear. Trunk is next, absolutely all the time second gadget, all of the time first Star Power as well. And then again, because of the changes to how the way that speed works, I mean, you can go speed gear to be fair with him, but if you're a good trunk, your ants should be everywhere, and it should give you a speed boost already. So damage gear and shield gear is pretty good on him. Willow's next, and dive is the one that you want to be using because it allows you to waste a lot of enemy utility. Star Power as well, Obsession is going to be better. Outside of Brawl, this one can be pretty effective as well. Damage gear and shield gear all of the time. And then lastly, Ziggy. You want to be using this one unless if you're, for whatever reason, you pick Ziggy into an Edgar or Mortis. This one can actually be pretty cool. Electric Shuffle is better. Thunderstruck is better as well because if you don't use the slow Star Power, enemies can just walk into your super and like, oh wow, it's just a bit of tickle damage. So use the slow, then gadget and the shield gear. So that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. So let me know whether you want me to improve anything about these types of videos. But yeah, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and see you guys next time.